What is up, YouTube? Apologies in advance because although I know I said that I would be doing either Rhino or Boban this time around, I gave you an early October trick-or-treat present by doing Ash. Yeah. Sorry. So, although it's not at all necessary, I put Arcane Trickery on my helmet. And the reason why I did that is because I like to spam my ult. I mean, a lot of people like to bash you for spamming your ult, but I mean, it's Ash, it's Bladestorm, it's one of the sexiest ults in the game. And it's incredibly damaging, so why not take use of that? The thing I find useful about Arcane Trickery is the fact that every time you're doing an animation within Bladestorm, you have a chance of proccing this Arcane Trickery, which is going to send you into invisibility. Now, in a tense situation where you might need to cast Smoke Shadow, Arcane Trickery is going to make it so you don't. And that's always good, because if this procs and it puts you invisible, it saves you some energy. It just makes sense, really. Getting straight into the build, I went with Prime Continuity, Seeking Shuriken, Rising Storm, Streamline, Vitality, Prime Flow, Rage, and Transient Fortitude. Now, I didn't put an adapter in, because it's just not at all necessary. Ash is kind of a god frame all on his own right, and if you're going to put the adapter in, you can really just decide what it is you want for yourself. Just keep in mind that you're probably going to have to add more Forma than what I did to fit this thing in. Now, the things that I want to explain are the obvious ones. Rising Storm. This is going to increase your multiplier for Bladestorm, which is going to improve your damage output, so you're just going to be nuking everything around. And then the Seeking Shuriken is an incredibly underrated mod that needs taking a look at because arguably one of the best augment mods in the game. The reason why I say this is because this mod does not reduce enemy armor by 5%, it doesn't do it by 50%, it completely rips it off entirely. This means that every time you do a Shuriken and it hits its target, that target has no armor to protect it. None whatsoever. This works on the Juggernaut Behemoth, it works on Ancients, it works on Heavies, it works on Bombards, anything that's got armor no more. Now, it only lasts for a certain duration, so you gotta make use of it. But if you can't kill something within that time, then you shouldn't be watching this video to begin with. It doesn't really matter what weapons you're using, because that Seeking Shuriken is just gonna be so beautiful. However, I did decide to go with Burston Prime. Now, the reason why I chose Burston Prime is simply because it's impressive on its own right, but the Gilded Truth really makes all the difference. When, 2000 Affinity I think is collected, the EMP Blast is going to go off, which has the potential to finish off your Bladestorm animation, making it easier for you to move on to the next crowd. But on top of that, when the EMP Blast does go off, it's also going to return health. So again, really in those tense situations, not only do you have the Trickery backing you up, but you also have the Gilded Truth, which is going to provide health return, which is always great in a really tense situation. When this goes off, it's going to give you that extra little bit of life that you needed, and it's going to buy you that time that you critically need. The only other thing that I want to contribute to this build is the Carrier Prime. It's ironic that DE released Ash and Carrier Prime at the same time, because it's kind of like their way of saying, hey, use these together, it just makes sense. And it does. The only note that I want to put into this build is the fact that you must have an animal instinct. And the reason for that being is because Carrier Prime likes to go full-on retard mode sometimes and just hesitate in picking up the mods. When you're Bladestorming, what's going to happen is Carrier is going to register all the different locations you're teleporting to, and it's going to pick up and accumulate all the different ammo boxes, the health orbs, energy orbs, mods, whatever's laying on the ground. But sometimes, like I said, it goes full-on retard mode and just drops it. So, Animal Instinct is one of those essential mods that you need to put on every Sentinel and every Kubro, because you can see the goodies that are on the floor, and you can also see enemies. Now we're going to be doing something a little bit different with this build, and we're going to go to Configuration B, which is the first time we've ever done this on Warframe God Builds. Prime Continuity, Prime Flow, Smoke Shadow, Streamline, Constitution, Stretch, Vitality, and Rage all contribute to the Spy build. Yes, this is a Spy-specific build. You can use it for other things, but it's relatively weaker in comparison. Actually, it's weaker by a lot in comparison to the other build that we covered. However, this is going to be super effective in Spy mission, especially if you're rocking a Limbo co-op partner. And on the plus side, this God Builds video is compatible with the Warframe God Builds Limbo. So if you've got a pal who's rocking the Warframe God Builds Limbo, and you're rocking the Warframe God Builds Ash, you guys can do spy missions like a bunch of freaking Splinter Cell pros. So what's going to happen here is Limbo's going to know to go into Rift Walk. That way he's not detected by lasers. But this Smoke Shadow augment is going to make it so you can cloak him. And what's going to happen when that happens is he's going to go through the lasers and he's not going to get detected by cameras or other enemies. This makes him completely undetectable. He can ignore absolutely every obstacle. Just keep in mind that you need to have a competent Limbo, otherwise he's going to fail the terminals if he's not good at hacking, or he doesn't have ciphers. So just make sure that your Limbo buddy is also competent on top of using the Warframe God Builds Limbo. So in conclusion, Ash is sort of a god on his own right. However, if you utilize this build correctly, you're really going to go the distance, and you're going to be satisfied with the results of said distance. So if you like this video, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. As always, the recruitment details are at the bottom in the description. Until next time, peace!